After you, Danny.
Today we'll be talking about our hospitality program, which breaks down into two major industries. On one side we have the Jansen industry, and on the other side we have the food service industry. While many of these products do apply to both of these industries, it is important that you understand for what reasons they apply so that you can properly sell them to the clients you're trying to target. So Mark, if you'd like to start.
Sure. Today I'd like to start with the food service industry, specifically the food service towels. We, like everything else, we work on a good, better, best basis, and there is no exception here. First of all, food service towels are used in the restaurant trade for either counter work or behind the counters working in the kitchens. Their basic premise is that they're antibacterial. So they have a treatment, either natural or chemical applied, which will not allow bacteria to proliferate within the wiper itself. Usually they're used in a way where they'll put them into a bucket, a solution that is also antibacterial, and they'll come wring it out, go do their job, put it back in the bucket, and then change the water base periodically to keep it clean. In this particular case, the brand names that we normally see out in the marketplace are the Chicopee J-Cloth. I'm sure everybody's familiar with that, and I'm sure most people have the same opinion that I do, which basically it's a very poor performing wiper. It's made of a viscose-based product, which viscose polyester. Polyester gives it the strength, the viscose gives it its absorbency, and unfortunately it's not very absorbent. If you've ever used one of these, you remember going on a counter, trying to pick up some water, and it'll absorb a portion of it, but always leaves behind a residue. And that residue, usually will evaporate over time and stuff like that. But in terms of trying to get a nice, clean, dry surface, the J-Cloth version of our line, which is called the EZ Cloth, in terms of its retail packaging, and it looks exactly like this. And you have basically three different colors. You have the green, red, and blue.
Now, is there a difference between the colors, Mark?
Well, yeah, there's no difference in terms of the quality of the product. The color is going back to the whole concept of anti-cross contamination. So, for instance, the guys at the counter at the front, when they're serving the food, or the tables will use a particular color. The people in the kitchen will use another color, and then maybe in the bathrooms they'll use a third. Most programs are either one or two colors. There are three available for that simple reason of the three different areas in a restaurant.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we commonly see more of the blue out there?
Well, I think blue is just simply a question of aesthetics. People like the color blue. They associate it with cleaning because of Windex, and so yes, it is by far the most popular color. People can use, like in terms of popularity, definitely blue is number one, green is number two, and red is a far number three. So you don't see a lot of the red being sold. It does have a chemical antibacterial component in this particular one, the EZ Cloth. And as far as a good, better, best scenario, it is the good product. Now, if you were to turn that completely around, Danny, to turn this one around like this, you will see the better version. The better version is basically exactly the same product, except that it's a thicker material, meaning that it will last longer, and so when they use it in the bucket and that system, it may last an extra day, 2 or 3. It'll also have a higher capacity to absorb because it is thicker. So those are the two components, basically exactly the same product.
Same antibacterial, same components made of polyester and viscose product.
Yes, same percentage. It is a high percentage of viscose. And so how does it compare in the marketplace against our competitors? Both of these towels have a high percentage of viscose to actually allow it to be more absorbent than the standard J-Cloth towel that's out there. And so because it has less polyester, it may not be quite as durable. You might see it piling a little bit more as the abrasion creates the material to break apart a little bit faster, but then you get a better performance in terms of the absorbency.
And what colors do we offer in this one?
We only carry that particular one in a 100-piece box, dispenser box.
And in color blue?
And in the color blue, yes.
Okay. So that is our better option.
That is the better option. So if you were to flip that, you would see our best option. And this one we're very proud of. First of all, it's made of 100% bamboo. It comes in two versions, the natural tan as well as a blue version. The blue is a blue dye, which is a food-based dye. So it is still 100% biodegradable, 100% compostable. And the key feature is it is a green product. It is a product that can be thrown into any of your compost bins and is recyclable. And it has no polyester component to it. And it is naturally antibacterial. So there's no additives, no chemicals added to this. It is a wood-based product, bamboo being wood. Wood is naturally antibacterial. It contains a particular chemical which will battle the proliferation of the germs within the towel itself. And the feature that I like the most about this is that it's tremendously absorbent. You can use this for drying dishes. It'll give you a squeaky clean finish. The downside to this is the durability. Because it has no polyester component to it, it won't last as long as the other two. But in terms of offering a green version in a restaurant trade, it is a really nice product, performance-wise and from an ecological point of view.
Yeah, in today's world, people are more and more focusing on environmentally friendly solutions. So this is definitely something when you're going out also for bids, institutional wise, going to the municipalities or to the hospitals, little things like that will draw their attention and perhaps allow you to win those bids because you're offering something that's different and that's exclusive, relatively exclusive to us. There's very little of this in the market currently. So if we were to do a recap real quickly, Mark, so we have our good option,
yes,
which is our Easy Cloth,
yeah,
offered in 3 colors. Then we move to our better option, which is the same Easy Cloth, only thicker, and it's offered only in the blue.
We call it the food service towel, actually a very original name, but it is called the food service towel, and if you use that terminology, you'll get that 90 GSM.
And our third option, the best, is our bamboo, offered both in white and in blue. Is the best option you can use. So what are the formats that we have?
Yeah, that was my next thing, was to bring up the different ways that we package this. So in terms of the good product, the Easy Cloth, we do have for institutional sales a box of 100, which looks exactly like this. This is actually the food service towel product, but the box is similar, the printing is similar, it just says Easy Cloth on it. And we have this box version in all 3 colors.
And it's a dispensing case, correct? So if
Yeah.
you were to open this here,
it comes out one at a time very easily. And so here's a full size towel. All 3 of these towels are the same size. They're 12 by 24, which is the industry standard. You will see organizations who market a product that is slightly smaller, and so consequently try and obtain a certain price point. We've not gone in that direction at this point in time. Our demand for the 12 by 24 continues to be strong. So and from a price point of view, the interesting thing about the bamboo is that it's not actually any more expensive than the food service towel, which is the good. So the better, from a price per piece point of view, is very, very similar, like a few percentage differences. In the marketplace, it's an imperceptible difference in terms of the cost. So getting back to the packaging, the food service towel is the simplest one, only in the box of 100. The Easy Cloth, on the other hand, because of its price point and because of its retail attractiveness, the whole marketing of the J-Cloth, we now have a 50-pack, as you can see here, printed in a bag like this. It is probably our most popular selling version. And then we also carry a similar packaging in 20 and also in 10 pieces. And again, the different colors available in all of these packaging at this point.
so the Easy Cloth offered in 10s, in 20s, in 50s, in boxes of 100 with no retail packaging. And also we have
One of the most popular versions that we sell is this roll. It is a 9 by 18 perforated roll with 50 pieces on it, and it actually has the hole in the center of it so that it can go onto your paper towel dispenser and you can pull them off one at a time. So this is one of our most popular selling items at the retail level. It comes in its own PDQ dispenser, so PDQ being a point of purchase area. It's put on an end cap or something like that, and there's 12 in a box, 24 in a case. Makes for a really nice retail item. Extraordinarily popular with the organizations that have taken on this product have done very, very well with it.
So this is all of our easy cloth option. The better option, which is the
Food service towel.
food service towel, is only offered in the 100 pack box.
Correct.
And finally,
In the bamboo, we have 3 different options of packaging. So the blue and the green, the blue and the tan. The blue is obviously in the blue box, the natural is in the green box, hence the green theme behind it. 50 in a box, so it's half of the size of the other 2, and it dispenses exactly like the other one. You pull up the box and pull them out one at a time. Great for a restaurant that has shelf space. They can throw that on there and pull them out as they need it. All right. The other retail packaging that we have available is we also have a roll version of the bamboo cloth. Same concept, 9 by 18 with the hole for the paper towel dispenser. Pull them out, use them one at a time, and can go get more as you require it. Then the last version we have printed bag. This is an 8-piece bag that is set up for retail as well. 100% compostable, 100% biodegradable. Everything's indicated on there, the salient features for the retail packaging. So that covers the food service towel portion of it. A lot of the products we're going to talk about going forward will be crossovers to both areas of food service industry as well as the Jansan. And to start with, we'll talk about shop towels. We've talked about shop towels already in many other areas. You've been trained on shop towels when it comes to the rags. The reason why it's interesting for this particular industry is because, again, it's 100% cotton and board reusable towel. When you have finished borders, the towel becomes reusable. So a shop towel is a component in this area. The other area that we are into is terry. So Danny has the terry bar wipers. You'll hear the terminology bar wiper or terry rags or what else they use. Anyway, we'll get back to the nomenclature after. But basically what this is a 16 by 19 towel with a finished manufactured edge on it so that it doesn't come apart easily. And
this is a new product, correct?
It is new, yeah. When you see the bordered edges on a product, 99% of the time it's going to be a new product and therefore launderable. And why would they want to launder it? Well, simply put, the price is such that it is expensive, and in order to justify the cost of this high performance towel, you have to be able to use it over and over again. So laundering it is a very important component to keeping the value. Bar wipers, terry bar wipers, terry towels are available in a lot of different versions at Wipeco. We're probably one of the biggest importers of terry in Canada, maybe even North America, in terms of grade B towels. As a recycler of towels, a recycler of rags, we're always looking for factory remnants, and so the toweling that we get from the manufacturers when they make the big bath towels, etc. These manufacturers are always making mistakes. We make those mistakes into product, and so in the terry bar wipers we do carry the grade A, no mistakes, consistent from one piece to the next, from one dozen to the next, in terms of its thickness and the fact that it has no defects in it. But we're also specialists in bringing in grade B towels. Grade B towels dictate a minor defect. Okay,
Still new.
Still new, still fully bordered, still, and this is what I explain to most of my clients in the Jansan industry. It will not deter from the longevity or the performance of the product. It is mostly an aesthetic thing. You look at it, it might have a thread pull through it, like one line where you see the thread pull, or it might have a stain on it where it's been dropped on the ground, or when they're sewing the product, a bit of oil comes off of the machine onto it, and so it becomes a grade B. Or it might, when it was sewn, it might have a cut edge where it's rounded instead of the rectangle. It can't be sold as a grade A and we get it as a grade B. Maybe it's simply overproduction. When they've made too many for an order and they have an extra 200 dozen, well, we get it as a grade B, simply at the grade B price, simply because it doesn't
sell.
It doesn't sell. They don't have it for that order. They ran out of room in the container, whatever. So why offer grade B? Well, mostly because of price. People use a great deal of terry in the Jansen industry. Microfiber has taken over a lot of that business, but terry still remains a very important portion of their requirements for having a good tool, a wiping tool. And terry offers a great deal of friction because of the lumen. So when you need to scrub something, terry is actually a much better product than microfiber for that purpose, unless you're using our specialty scrub microfiber, of course. And the issue, of course, becomes durability compared to the fact that it actually absorbs better and it will scrub better. It's a kind of a better tool in a lot of ways for a Jansen guy, but the longevity of it, the cost per use, is actually quite high because maybe 100% cotton might only last for 20, 25, 30 washes, whereas the microfiber will last 10 times that. So it's become very popular, and of course the polyamide effect of microfiber, the fact that it actually cleans a little bit better per swipe, is also important.
Now, something interesting that you've mentioned to me before, Mark, is our market where we focus on the restaurants and cleaning the grills. So
Yes.
we have a very interesting product that we offer to clean those grills.
Yeah, so skipping over a little bit, with the new terry, because we also carry grade C terry and grade D. We've skipped, doing the grill wipers is more of the grade D, so I'll mention a little bit on a step-per-step basis. We've talked about grade A, we've talked about grade B. Grade C terry is basically big towels or literal towels where when they've manufactured it, they've created big mistakes, big holes in it, and what they do is they'll take that big towel with that big hole in it and they'll cut it and do a overlock stitch. So the grade C towel is actually still a very good towel and it's very good terry. The thing is we don't have the consistency in the sizes or the consistency in the thickness of the product, because it could be a heavy towel or it could be a bath mat, very little bath mats. It could be a bar wipe or a hand towel that has a big mistake that they've cut off and sewn up to give it a last life, basically. Still able to wash it, still has the edges, but it won't last as long because it's not a manufactured edge. It's an overlocked edge, and the overlocked edges don't last as long. So that's a grade C towel. And getting to Danny's point about a grill wiper, in the industry, there's the laundries who service the bar wipers, and their biggest enemy is a grill. Why is that? Because when you scrub a grill, the oil and grease that comes off onto the towel does not come clean. And if they're using a grade A towel in the laundry industry and they use it instead of cleaning the tables at the front of the restaurant, they use it on the grill, well, they've ruined it. And the cost per use increases dramatically. So what we do is we offer the laundries as well as the restaurants through our distribution network the option of using our grade C or D towels to clean the grills. So when you were getting back and we talked about in our rags the TLW, the laundry terry from the hospitals and other sources, the grade C towel again can be a big towel cut and there's no edge on it, so it's basically a one-use towel. You can't really launder it because it'll fray too much, so it becomes a one-use towel, and it tends to be a little bit thinner because it's been through the laundry so often. So to clean a grill, it's perfectly. You clean the grill with it, it gives you the scrubbability, it gets really dirty, they throw it out. It's priced to be thrown out. So that particular terry grill wiper is popular both at the laundry area, because they never have enough terry for cleaning those grills for their clients, and in the restaurant trade. So I think that covers the ABCDs of terry. Any questions on that, come and see me, because it can be a little bit more complicated in terms of some of the terminology we did not cover that we can talk about at another time, or if you have questions about are the thicknesses of the towel. How do we make a comparison, one towel versus another? The weight per dozen is the key there to give you the thickness, and then the size. A bar wiper can be anything from a 15 by 18 to a 17 by 20 in that size range. So there's no rule that it has to be 16 by 19. It's whatever we can get that has that manufactured edge overseas.
And obviously, when you're bidding against competition, the size matters when you want to compare apples to apples. So if you're offering a product that's bigger in size and you're not quite able to meet the price of your competitor, well, at that point, you need to ask yourself, well, is it because of the size? It's more material, it costs more, or vice versa. So we have multiple options here at WIPECO, and we can source other multiple options. So if you have any opportunities, please come see Mark or me, and we will look at it specifically.
Yeah, because we have the buying power of buying enormous amounts of volume, multiple containers every single month of this, Terry, the options are enormous. And we say no to stuff overseas on a regular basis that might answer those questions, bring the opportunities to the table, because we are in this game big time.
So the next one on it is the microfiber, which we covered at length, and I would refer you to your microfiber training to go over all of these different options. But Mark, maybe very quickly you can say how it incorporates in both the food service industry and or the janitorial industry. So who would use the microfiber in food service and janitorial?
Well, I mean, these food service towels that we just talked about can be displaced by many versions. For instance, I'll go back to the Terry. Part of the Terry that we have available have blue, green, and yellow stripes. So anti-cross contamination, you can identify the departments by the color stripe. And it goes forward into the microfiber as well. So again, the different colors for different departments within a restaurant, within a hospital, within a janitorial application, whether it be a bathroom, a kitchen, or general purpose. Each color can be associated, and you'll even find, Danny, which is amazing, the industry has evolved to the point where some organizations actually color coordinate their chemicals with the microfiber. So the blue is the most obvious because of Windex being out there, the blue being glass, so blue microfiber is associated with glass cleaning. And then you can extend that into the green and red and other colors as well. So from a microfiber point of view, again, it's a very important tool. It has taken over a lot of the Terry business because of its longevity, because of its high performance. The polyamide per swipe will pick up more dirt than a Terry towel will. And also the fact that from a longevity point of view, microfiber is a synthetic product, so germs do not proliferate naturally within the synthetics. Whatever it's catching, it might proliferate within that, so it needs to be cleaned on a regular basis. Terry, on the other hand, is a natural product. It is 100% cotton. It will rot. It will create, proliferate germs, and that is a concern in the food service industry because Terry, technically speaking, once you've done your first swipe, if you don't put it into a solution to kill the germs, should be taken out of service within just a few hours. So without having the antibacterial components involved in a food service towel or the natural antibacterial components of a microfiber because it's synthetic, you need to actually remove those from service by law. You know, if you look at recommendations in the code, like I've read some British ones, and after about 3 hours you need to take it out of service. So it's a good argument when you're trying to sell food service towels versus Terry in the marketplace, especially in the rental industry. So if moving on, we also carry dish towels, which is again in the food service industry. Obviously dish towels are meant for drying dishes, made of 100% cotton, and like Danny said in another training, they're not going to be very good at the beginning. They need to be washed, 2 or 3 times before they become, give the absorbency that they should be having. They come in multiple colors. They're 4 colors per dozen, and we have very, very good pricing in this. It is a jumbo towel. This is a 22 by 34 towel. Recognize that because you'll be up against organizations that market, for instance, an 18 by 26 towel. And this is a jumbo towel, so you get more bang for your buck. And apples to apples, we're very well priced. We actually sell to a lot of our competitors because they can't bring in the volume necessary to get the price point. We do bring this in by the 40-foot container load. Consequently, we have good pricing.
So what's our packaging on this?
They're sold, there's 2 versions of the packaging actually. We have a retail pack, which basically is a pack of 4, so with the 4 colors with a header card that can hang up, and we also have it in bulk, so just 12 the 4 colors, 333 in a dozen. The best way to sell this, to get the best price to your client, is in the bulk in a bale of 50. So a bale of 50 is going to give your client the best value. We also carry the same product in a 1414 version, a lavette they call it, just for doing your dishes and cleaning down the counters. Exactly the same look, exactly the same product, bordered edges, but in a 1414 size. Same concept, 2 different packagings, one retail, one not retail, in a pack of 4 and in the dozens. Bales of 100 dozen in this particular case.
And of course, much cheaper because of the size. The 14 by 14 is a different price point because it's the same quantity but a smaller size, therefore less material, cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. Less than half the cost. So the next product up on the food service or Jansan side of things is our scrubby pads, 6x9. Now here is just a basic convenience item. Most organizations, it could be called a pot scrubber, could be used in a lot of different applications where they need aggressive scrubbing. It's 100% polyester. It is a price proposition. A lot of guys offer this out there. There's some North American manufacturers that actually put this out in the marketplace. The programs that you see out there from other organizations like a 3M will have multiple colors depending on how aggressive they want it to be. This is the least aggressive of the ones. It is a commodity item. It is the most popular one. We have a very good price. We brought in a lot of it, so from overseas, and we can compete against anybody from a price point of view on this.
And while we have no actual retail packaging display on this, it is worth noting that it is UPC coded. So if clients did want to sell this, and we see this in the market a lot, this is sold in a retail format, even though there is no display on it. The fact that it has a UPC code on it is very important. So we have it on all of these products.
Exactly. And it is a product from a retail point of view, is self-explanatory. They put that on the shelf as is. People know what it is. It's a very standard item. We talked about the Lurex microfiber sponge. We were talking about microfiber in the past. So just to reiterate, this is a food service item. It's used for scrubbing pots and pans and cleaning down towels. You have the scrubby side, the Lurex side, and then on the other side you have the microfiber, which is an excellent product for absorbing and cleaning counters. It's actually one of my wife's favorite tools in the kitchen to clean the counters.
And it is a sponge, so it is a thick product. It's not just a thin material. It is thick. There's a spongy feeling to it. So, as Mark said, it can be used in the kitchen, and it's very popular.
Yeah, it brings a lot of chemicals. Like if you have a soapy water and you put that in there and do this to it, the soap will come out and suds up. And it is a chemical-free sponge as well, so a chemical-resistant sponge is what I'd rather say. It will resist the chemicals that you'll use in household cleaning, so it won't melt. It'll retain its shape.
Now this is offered in a retail pack. Do we have bulk packs of these?
Nope. It's for the cost of the card, we just do it in the one format. Packs of 12 if you want to sell it in bulk, and it comes with the card automatically. Okay. Part of the food service and janitorial industry is disposable gloves, a very important component. We are going to have a whole separate training on gloves. That will be coming up next. The same thing with latex dishwashing style gloves, fits into that industry quite well. We did discuss cheesecloth already.
In the paint and sundry program, and we'd refer you to that if you had any questions.
But just to reiterate a little bit, because it is important to note that in the food side of things, for cheesecloth, that it's used a great deal in the high-end kitchens. That where they do poaching and they create sauces, and they want to keep the spices out of the sauce, but just get the flavor. They'll create a pouch of the spice and put it into the sauce to get just the flavor out and not leave it in there. A way of controlling the amount of this flavor that goes into it. And we see it at, we sell to many high-end restaurant chains that offer this product in the 3 different formats. And lastly, on the brochure that we have for food service, we do have aprons as part of being textile oriented. Aprons is a small component of our offer into that industry. a few items that are not on there that are important to note. We do have the typical laundry industry product, which is called a kitchen towel. So a 15 by 26 towel with one stripe through the middle, usually in green or blue, and we carry that in bulk, 100% cotton. The important thing to know about that particular towel is it's not exactly like a dish towel. A dish towel is meant for drying dishes, relatively lint-free. The kitchen towel has a herringbone finish, which makes it a tighter weave, and it is more lint-free. So better quality thread, so the cotton itself is longer, it won't leave as much lint. So when you're dealing with glassware, for instance, when you're drying down the wine glasses and things like that, it tends to be a better product than a dish towel because it won't leave as much lint and do a nicer job. So the kitchen towel is also part of the line as well. And that pretty well concludes our food service and Jansan hospitality section.
If you have any questions, as always, we refer you to your managers or to us directly.
Thank you.